Welcome to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome. I'm Nick.
And I'm Jackson.
From Top Notch Sports. Today, we're going to be going over the Baltimore Ravens off-season salary review. We're going to look at their salary cap situation and see what moves they can make to make this team go one extra level, maybe make a push to the Super Bowl. Again, this team has some money, not a lot of money, but we're going to see what we can do with the money that they're going to have after this offseason. So let's hop right into it. I'll have Jackson take it away on the first slide and explain what it shows. Jackson, go ahead.
Thank you, Nick. And you see in the top left, they got $19.6 million. Like Nick said, it's not a lot, but it's enough to get something done. And remember, guys, the green means you're cutting and you're saving some money, and the red is you're cutting and losing money. So say, for example, they want to cut Brandon Williams, you save $7.5 million, and then say they cut Patrick Queen, you're losing $7 million. So that's how that's going to work. And I'm gonna stick towards the offensive side of the ball here for a second. Lamar Jackson, we all know he's a run-first quarterback. He's had some throwing issues, but when you have a run-first quarterback like Lamar Jackson, what you need a solid offensive line, and that's what this Baltimore team's got. With Ronnie Stanley and Orlando Brown, kind of being the thick and thin there. I want to talk about Mark Andrews. He's been one of the league's best tight ends since he's came into the league. And another thing this team's got, they've kind of struggled the past few years at the wide receiver position. Marquise Brown, they drafted him in the first round a few years back. He hasn't really panned out too much. We know he's kind of just like a speed threat kind of wide receiver. That's what he's really been. Devin Duvernay and Miles Boykin here on the other side. Again, they're more of a speed guys. They're losing Willie Snead, so that's a name to mention there. And on the defensive side of the ball, they got some great pieces over here. I'm going to talk about Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters here. That is a great 1-2 punch at the cornerback position. Arguably the best duo in the league right now. Calais Campbell, who's I'm pretty sure he was a trade piece from Jacksonville. He's been great ever since he's been there. Patrick Queen was a great use of a first-round pick. He's panned out well. This team, they struggling at the safeties position, but again, they got draft picks, and we're going to see how they use them.
Absolutely. Jackson said it really well there. His offensive line, beautiful. I mean, this is one of the strongest. I ranked them as the top offensive line in the league at the beginning of this season before it started, before the preseason, right? So last offseason, me and Mike had a video, and I said that this offensive line is really, really underrated. They are phenomenal. They are the top of the line, top of the league, however you want to look at it. Really young, and Orlando Brown, right? Great pick that they used for him. Again, the only guy that's a little bit questionable is Patrick McCarry. I don't know much about him, but I think he's a little bit of the weaker guys, according to some of the stuff I looked at. You got the two speed demons on the outside, and Devin Duvernay and Marquise Brown. Devin Duvernay is really the slot guy. I know this graphic's a little bit off. Miles Boykin's a little bit of a bigger receiver, but they need that receiver that's going to be a 1A, a guy that can go up and catch balls, and you guys will be happy with what we show later on in this video, hopefully. Lamar Jackson, solid. J.K. Dobbins, really good running back from last year. Me and Mike, both when we did our scouting analysis last year on J.K. Dobbins, really proud of him. Can't wait to do the scouting process this year. That will be coming shortly. Me and Noah, we looked at the defensive line. Brandon Williams, they would say $7.5 million, but he's a solid piece in this 3-4 defense. Remember, guys, this is the defense who's currently under contract. You guys are probably like, where are this guy? Where is that guy? We're going to show you on the next slide whether or not we're bringing him back or not, because they are not currently under contract. Like Jackson said, phenomenal duo, Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey, probably the best cornerbacks in the league right now currently. Patrick Queen, phenomenal middle linebacker for you guys, been playing really solid. And Jackson said we got to address probably that safety position. But let's go on to the next slide and show you guys your notable losses, the guys that currently are not under contract. Jackson, take it away.
Big piece right here on the edge. Matt Judon, his expected contract is 4 years, $64 million. He wants a pretty penny. He played 52.9% of the snaps. Again, another edge piece, Yannick Ngakoue. He's kind of floated around the league a little bit. 4 years, $70 million is his desired contract. He played about 61.4% of the snaps. Willie Snead, who's probably been the best wide receiver on this team for a while now, his expected contract is 1 year, $7.4 million. He played 52.1% of the snaps. Derek Wolfe, again, another pretty solid edge for you guys. His expected contract is 1 year, $3.0 million. He played about 58.3% of the snaps. Matt Skura, another offensive lineman. His expected contract is a 1-year, $10 million deal. He played about 64.4% of the snaps. Tyus Bowser, another edge for this team. His expected contract is a 2-year, $7 million deal. He played about 50.6% of the snaps. Pernell McPhee, again, another edge this team is losing. His expected contract is a 1-year, $1 million deal. He played 43% of the snaps, and they're losing a tackle / guard and DJ Fluker. His expected contract is a 1-year, $1.5 million deal, and he played about 51.7% of this team's snaps.
As Jackson said, I mean, you look at this, they're losing 4 edge pieces and a Derek Wolf, who's a DN. He plays DN / D tackle in this defense. That 3-4, he's all over. Oops, sorry about that, guys, real fast. So Derek Wolf's there. But look, this is what you got here. You're really losing Matthew Judon, Yana Ngakwe. Those are your 2 big name guys that you don't want to lose. So we'll see if we bring either of these guys back on their desired contract. And the rest of these guys, I mean, these are all nice role pieces. But again, on the next slide, we'll show you who we may be bringing back and who is going to be walking. Here we go. So right now, you have the $19.6 million. On the guys that are currently under contract, we got no estimated cuts, right? So free agency, all those guys that are on the notable losses list, right? These guys, the only guy we got you bringing back is Matthew Judon on a 4-year, $64 million deal, which is a $16 million cap hit. The total cost would be $16 million. So that will leave you guys with $3.6 million remaining in the cap. And you guys are like, well, wow, that's a fun free agency. But that's honestly all you guys are going to be able to do, unless you guys want to sign a bunch of role pieces. But again, you re-sign Matthew Judon on the edge / outside linebacker role, that 3-4 rusher. Matthew Judon was a solid piece for you guys in the playoffs. Big fan of his. You guys got to draft a strong linebacker, draft a weak linebacker, draft a safety. And we're going to say in the first round, you guys draft Terrace Marshall Jr., a wide receiver, 6'3", 6'4", depending on where you look. We'll wait and see. If I know the combine's up in the air, probably not going to happen. So we'll see if we get some official measurements on him. Decently fast, but he's more of a go up and get a guy, big bodied receiver, something that you guys don't currently really have. And hopefully he could pan out as a 1A receiver. Right now you got Marquise Brown, who's fast, Devin Duvernay, who's fast, but you need that receiver that can beat any kind of coverage. And I feel like Terrace Marshall Jr. could be that guy. But again, we'll look more into him when we do our scouting analysis and all that further down the line. But again, right now with a $19.6 million cap, why are you going to cut anybody that's currently on the roster? Let's just go back real fast. Who are you going to cut? Brandon Williams, I wouldn't cut him. LJ Fort saved $2 million. It's not worth it to cut any of these guys. So you're not going to cut nobody in green, really. So that leaves you with one thing. Sign back the one guy that you can bring back that's going to be a solid playmaker in Matthew Judon, and you're going to lose Yana Ngakwe, lose Willie Snead, and lose everyone down the list besides Matthew Judon, who's going to be a nice solid piece for you guys. As we go on to the next slide, Jackson will break down what the colors mean here and how much remaining cap room you have.
All right, Baltimore, this is your 2021 potential stars, and this team's got $3.6 million left in the cap, like Nick mentioned. And Terrace Marshall, I think this is what this team's been lacking. They've been lacking a big guy that can go up, grab a ball if he needs to. 6'3", 6'4", don't really yet with the combine. He's going to be your first-round draft pick. And you see the guys in yellow, Deshaun Elliott, LJ Fort, Malik Harrison, and Chuck Clark. As we said, we look back on the last slide, we said we're going to draft a strong linebacker, draft a weak linebacker, draft a safety, and plug those guys in immediately. So whatever safety they decide to draft, maybe they draft 2 safeties and just get filling these guys, and then the strong linebacker and weak linebacker. And then, again, Matthew Judon, he's going to be a big piece in this 3-4 defense that Baltimore runs. I really like this team. Again, this is a strong AFC. We've seen this past few years. This team has got to make moves to compete, and I think bringing in Matthew Judon back on a contract and drafting Terrace Marshall is a great move for this team. Give Lamar Jackson a guy to throw the ball to. And again, I really do like this Baltimore team, and I think they could be in contention for a Super Bowl next year.
Absolutely. And again, what we're going to go back to here is light blue is who they draft. They're going to draft Terrace Marshall in the first round. You still got all your other draft picks, but here's one we can say that could be a lock right now that we're just throwing a name out there. Complete your receiving core, right? This would be a complete receiving core if Terrace Marshall pans out for you guys. You got Matthew Judon. Orange means you're going to re-sign Matthew Judon. Only re-sign that you're going to have this free agency with the cap room that you have. You got a lot of cap room. It's just that Matthew Judon wants a whole bunch. And the 4 guys in the yellow, these guys are the guys that are the placeholders, right? LJ Fort, not really amazing. Malik Harrison, not really amazing. These are the guys, Elliott and Chuck Clark. These are the guys that you guys can replace, right, in the free agency or the offseason. We'll see what you guys do. But again, if you guys have a good draft, you very well could pan out with a really good safety maybe in the second round, maybe a good linebacker in the second round. Your defensive line solid. You got a good edge rusher in Matthew Judon, Justin Buke, a rookie from last year's draft, Devin Duvernay, a rookie from last year's draft, J.K. Dobbins, a rookie from last year's draft. These three guys are the future. Patrick Queen from last year's draft. So that's a solid young squad. You got Orlando Brown, who's young, Lamar Jackson, who's young, very, very young team. Marquise Brown, Marlon Humphrey. I can go on and on about this team, right? I'm not going to, but I can. Really solid defensive line. Solid Patrick Queen. I'm not going to lie. The linebackers need help. That's something that needs to be addressed. So maybe you draft the receiver in the first. Maybe you draft the receiver in the second. But we're going to go Terrace Marshall here. You draft a linebacker, maybe a safety, and you guys are a completed team that can make the push to the Super Bowl under quarterback Lamar Jackson and head coach John Harbaugh. Jackson, anything else?
I got nothing, Nick.
That's all. Guys, let us know what you guys think about this mock free agency, this mock offseason that we did for you guys. Let us know what you guys think. A lot more Baltimore Ravens content on the way. We got scouting analysis coming up. Probably about a month from now, we'll start making videos on it as we do our scouting by ourselves individually, and then we'll release videos on it. We got to complete all 32 teams, free agency videos, and a bunch more stuff. So just stay tuned. Leave a like, subscribe. We always cover breaking news as it hits, and we do a lot of cool stuff. So just stay tuned. Leave a like, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon. Jackson, we are
built better.
See you guys soon. Peace.